All right, this video is for those who want to learn how to stay adaptable and agile in these times of healthcare. So let's go. This talk will be shared at a meeting called ACHE. So I'm just glad you're here, and hopefully I'll get to meet you there too. Okay, so we're going to talk about this adaptability quotient. This is a new thing. We know a lot about IQ and EQ, so now we are learning we have to stay adaptable as well. And also, we're going to talk about strategies to reduce unnecessary initiatives in healthcare and how we can use AQ, IQ, EQ to get there and really focus on what matters in healthcare. So let's take a deep breath and think of the amazing Jane Goodall. She says, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So let's pause today and just think about what kind of difference we want to make in our teams, in our institution, in our communities, in our world. We're really fortunate we get to be here at this meeting where we get to, we're here together now to think about what's important to us and what are the next steps we want to take to put into our life what's really meaningful. So let's talk about this adaptability, this agility, when to change, how to build a culture of design and learning so we can keep building our adaptability. So what are we referring to? So there's a new word, adaptability quotient, AQ. It's up there with IQ and EQ now. So we know IQ, we know EQ. So IQ, of course, our intelligent quotient, EQ, our emotional intelligence quotient or emotional quotient. Well, AQ is now the adaptability quotient. Adaptability is how we learn quickly, how we adjust, how we apply our learnings, and this cycle of learning and applying and adjusting. And that's our adaptability quotient. And it's thought to be very important now. Like HR articles suggest that we need this, like this is what they're going to be looking for in the next level employees is this adaptability. So change, I mean, why do we have to change? I think everything's fine. Let's just leave it as it is. When do we have to change? Let's just say it's Monday, today's Wednesday, whatever day it is. Probably you have to change something today, or you want a fresh start. You're feeling like everything's the same personally. You're looking for something new. Maybe you're looking for a new job, or you're looking for a new hobby, something. You're just like something new. That's called feeling vital when we want to make a change. Or maybe something's not going well. You have to make a change in your institution. We're seeing more competition. We're seeing relevance now. Hear a lot about AI taking over. Where are we in this race, in this environment? Where do we fit in as humans? So how can we design agility and adaptability into our workforce, into our teams, into ourselves personally? Well, sometimes we can simplify things to get things going, to build our adaptability. So number one, it's not so simple, but to set a vision. What is important to you? Where do you want to go? When you set this for your team, what's the mission of the team? What's the vision? Where do we want to go? Where are we today? What's the strategy or the approach that we can use to make that vision, to get closer to the vision, if not to succeed in the vision? And then what do we need to iterate? What do we need to change? What are we going to watch? What are the results we're going to look at to know if we got there? What does success look like? So we're going to design on purpose. What's important? As a neuroimmunologist, I love to talk about the neuroscience of leadership and team building. And, when we talk about, and Simon Sinek talks about this all the time, is that we need to know the why. What's the purpose of our actions? We know that one part of our brain is nonverbal or not as verbal as the other, depending who you are. Everybody's special. So a lot of times the words don't do it, but it's that feeling. It's like that is important. We know that feeling of fulfillment. We usually tend to kind of hold our stomach or our chest and say, like, that is a deep feeling. And that's this, kind of a peaceful success fulfillment feeling because we know we're doing something important, something that matters for ourselves, for our teams, for our communities, for the world. So what is today? What if we did X, Y, or Z? What wows us today? What wows our customers, our patients today, their families? What's working? What's not working? So sometimes we have to just look at it in a design sense. Where do we want to go to and how can we get there? and design where, design intentionally. So if we're talking about agile design, we have to look at our skill building. We look at these boxes. Are there any of these boxes that look like, oh, I need more skills in one of these boxes? Are you really good at the big picture, but not so good at executing? Is the culture not used to this kind of work, not used to iterating and changing so fast? Does the culture need some support? Do we collaborate with other teams well? Do we stick to ourselves? Do we connect with other people? Do we communicate clearly? Do we engage other teams, our own team? Are we focused? Do we know what's important to our team? Now, whenever we talk about change, we have to talk about emotions. There's just no getting around it. I'm sorry to say. The emotion, our brain is full of good ideas. It's also full of emotions. So just by showing up, those emotions will also come with us when we're planning a change. We might also just need to use simple tools, like just acknowledge them, see them like clouds in the sky. Oh, I notice I feel really annoyed when this other team talks about what our team has to do. I notice I'm having a thought that this is not going to go well. You're just noticing. And if you need to get beyond those emotions, we go back to our values. What's the value of our employers? We make value aligned choices. We can't get lost in the emotions of change, but we can acknowledge that they will be there. There's no question they're on the journey with us. So here's some tools and some, again, just to keep this really simple. Sometimes simple is better. The goal here is to put a space between the thoughts and our emotions and an action. That would be higher emotional intelligence, right? Our higher EQ. So you might use the words, and there's Dr. Susan David wrote a book called Emotional Agility, and I have it at the end of this talk here, but she'll use phrases like, I notice I feel frustrated when I think of that recent change. I notice I'm having the thought that this change is really not going to work. Pause. So you're just noticing, as opposed to say, I feel angry. I am angry. She doesn't suggest us that we say it that way. I am angry. I'm noticing I'm feeling angry. It puts a little bit of distance and it also puts some objectivity, some observation toward it. So really the goal is just to pause. I notice I'm feeling angry every time I enter this meeting. I notice I feel frustrated. I notice when this person talks, I feel frustrated. So we're just trying to put a space there. These 5 boxes just really floored me. I don't know. I just never seen it so clearly, and it helped me so much. It helped make sense of so much. So again, Dr. Susan David, I'm a big fan. She has a wonderful TED Talk, by the way, as well. So if you want to look her up, it's great. I have her book at the end of the talk. Um, it's in your app there. So she taught us about these 5 boxes of change, these 5 reasons that the team might have designed the vision, they might have set the strategy, might be ready to go with the change, and then you're noticing problem with implementing it. They're not implementing change. So we have to go back and acknowledge these boxes. What will the team lose with this change? What freedom might change for the team because of this change? Do they feel safe in this new area, whatever's changing? Will it change their own status with this change? Do they feel like they belong throughout the change? Have we reinforced why they're on the team and the goals? And have we reinforced their skills that we really enjoy on the team? So these are things that we have to acknowledge if we're seeing resistance to change in ourselves and our team members. So if we want to challenge our team members, we might want to watch the words we use, because if we can use some positive emotional words, that puts people in a better creative state. So if we use negative words, like what's going wrong, what can we cut? These are more negative connotation in the words. That if we use words like, how might I transform this? How might I surprisingly change this? Why do we need to finalize this? Again, going back to purpose. Who will be helped? Reminding again, back to purpose. How will it change things? Again, back to purpose. And then the implementation and what's needed, and just the clarity, because that's where the psychological safety really lives. What could help our teams through change? Again, set that vision, know where we're going. Why is it a priority? What's the value of it for our community, for our persons, for our institution, for our clinic, for our department? And what's the roadmap? How is it actually going to go? What results are we going to watch? And then clarify everybody's expectations, because those are just resentments waiting to happen if we don't. So if we're talking about success and adaptable and agile change, we want to talk about design thinking. So just think what could be, use those big open words, help people get into a more positive psychological state by acknowledging all the potential losses that can come with change. Connect systems, those boxes, those skill sets. What do we need to make this change? Focus on the process. We can make it very clear. We're going to have to iterate. Nothing goes well the first time. And therefore, we have a culture of learning. We have shown our team this is what we do. This is how we stay adaptable and agile. There's some resources for you. These are some of the books I had mentioned: Emotional Agility by Dr. Susan David, Strategic Doing, and then How to Grow and Design, How to Grow, Scale, and Agility, like Coca-Cola, and then Mindset by Carol Dweck. So great books, really can walk you through a lot of resources, strategies. Highly recommend them. Okay, and a few podcasts. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, have a great day. Appreciate you. And just put in the comments, the latest challenges, what your best takeaway from the video, and please like and subscribe so that I can keep sharing this with other people. And let me know what's going on in your team. You can put it in the comments. Any challenges, I'm glad to look at the resources and the references for you and make another video to help you out.